dealing with change. So you want to deal with change. Welcome guys. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it a lot. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about change, and I don't know whether I'm completely wrong or completely right. I assume I'm a little bit of both, and I like to learn a lot. So if you have some insight, don't be discouraged and leave it down below. And if you like the video, please like and subscribe it as well. It will really help me out. Let's get into it. Dealing with change. So change is inevitable, whether you like it or not. That's something I had to learn the hard way. I don't like change. Clear up right off the bat, I don't like it. I'm a very much, how will they say? I like to plan. I'm Dutch. Planning is in my nature, pretty much. It's very society driven to plan a lot. I'm not particularly good at it, but for example, my pantry or whatever, my cigars, everything has to go in a certain way. I just like to manage the things that I know, and I don't like to go away from that, which up until itself is a really strange thing to go into, and maybe something pathologically wrong, I don't know. But on the other hand, I could say at least I have a domain that I am conquering, let's say, right? So yeah, that might sound strange to a lot of people, but I really think if your life have been very chaotic and crazy and just out of the blue absurd, right? I think if you're experienced younger, something like that, let's say prior to the age of 8 or 10 or something like that, in your adult life, you strive to keep things a certain way. Because I think it's an underdeveloped thing then, maybe in my case, but I could be wrong here. I don't know about you guys. I would love to learn a little bit about it, but don't feel pressured at all. It's a safe space here. Anyway, change is something inevitable and it's good, but it could be also wrong, right? And in my opinion, change is something that I could refer to as a dragon in a way. And maybe let's sit that in there. What is a dragon, right? What is a dragon? It's something that's lurking deep where something you don't want to see or look towards. And this is a difficult topic because the moment you want to look towards something that you don't want to look towards, but you have to go there, it's instantly a change. Because you look now to something that you previously have ignored. So that's a change. That's a change of itself. But that change could be for the better. And it also can frighten you to death pretty much. Because you can only become that much happy and that much dead, right? Like super happy or completely dead. And I think humans tend to drive emotionally more towards bad things than towards good things. Because in a way, you can only be that much happy. Like there is a certain amount of scale or a ladder and it just cuts out. You cannot be more happy than happy. But there are numerous ways to die. So how am I going to explain this properly? Let me think a second here. Okay, let's say this. If, for example, you still live with your parents at home, and you maybe have not that great of an environment for you, and you want to change dramatically or big time, right? Something that truly will impact your life. What will this mean? I can speak out somewhat of experience. The moment when I changed my life, when I still lived at home, because I now live by myself, and the moment I changed something. I was like, hey parents, you know, I'm gonna try to clean my room, as Jordan Peterson would say. I literally pretty much said something along those lines. I'm somewhat paraphrasing. I can't recall it completely. And I was like, you know what? I'm also want to earn a little bit more money, so I'm gonna study again and things like that. And I was just telling what my plans were. And instead of an encouragement, what I truly hoped, and ignorantly so too, it was pretty much shut down instantly by, do you think you're better than me? By everybody, family, friends, and everybody, right? And I was thinking by myself, but it has nothing to do with you guys and everything with me. I wanted to do something better for myself. I wanted to climb and make a man out of myself, right? So that was this really odd thing that I just, it completely blew me away. It was so strange. It was almost insane. I don't know a better word than just straight up insane. And the thing is, I only realized that after a couple of months of very much thinking what just happened. It had everything to do with change. Because people like to tend to set you in a box, let's say, hypothetically speaking, right? And this box, my cigar's out. And this box pretty much is safe for people. Because you know this is this person. So I can ignore the person because he is not about to threaten me, right? Because that's the box of, I approved this person. But now I'm saying, hey, I'm going to this huge metaphoric change. And I'm completely throwing myself out of the way in a sense, or let's say I kill my old self to become my new self. And that's just a certain amount of change that people could not register. Because who are you now? And who do you want to become? But not only that, people literally thought, am I wrong? And that was more towards, I have seen this person, I have set this person in this box, this is this person, and suddenly he's jumping out of this box. So it really just hurts the person at their core. Because what they valued about you had or could be wrong. So now they just have to challenge their own beliefs whether they were wrong about you. And it took me months, many months to really capture that. And I think most people in my life specifically were too afraid to admit that they had to search within themselves, only to realize it had nothing to do with them. So they felt attacked because I was not that person anymore. And I think they were too weak, let's say weak in quotes, for lack of better words, to really search within, to only realize, hey, it had nothing to do with me, it had everything to do with him, because he wanted something better for himself. And if you happen to be in this case as well, guys, don't feel discouraged. I highly recommend it, and keep everything with a grain of salt. I'm not a psychologist, nothing at all. Like I will not say throw yourself in the deep and do it, but if you already made your mind, it could potentially be something very, very good. Because the thing is, where you least wanna look is the place where you must have been going towards. Because all the other places where you feel like you have looked, there's nothing to gain. That's familiar. You know those places. And the places that you haven't been looking is quote unquote hell. And I really think in a Dante's Inferno kind of style, like you must go through hell to eventually understand in a way that was the only way to infinity or define or something like that. Like, let's say you start a new business or anything like that. That's a change. That's a huge change in your life. It's nothing small. It's major, right? Because financially, you have no idea how much you need to put in your new company, right? Or you have no idea how your wife or your children or anything like that are going to deploy with this new plan that you're making, right? So it's in a way a state of a void of a deep and despair and everything that you don't want. You might actually be super nervous before you start. But you could have perhaps a very good business that you love running. And maybe you have, let's say, 5 people that's working underneath you and they just enjoy having you as a boss. How cool would that be, right? It's just a hypothetical, guys. And once again, take everything with a grain of salt. I am not here to say you must do something. I only say this is a bit of my experience, and I like to share it with you guys, and I hope at least I inspire something, or maybe I have awoken something in the knowledge that you perhaps have missed otherwise. So thank you very much, guys. I enjoyed it a lot. I, by the way, smoked a cigar VS or whatever it is. So that's the Hecto Amano. For those who don't know, Vegas Fina. Anyway, have a good one, and I will see you next week.